Hello, I'm Damien Jones of H&H Classics, and I'm here today to tell you a little bit about the 72 cars on offer at our next live auction online on Wednesday, July 22nd. The motor car section will start at 2 o'clock and should last somewhere between 2.5 and 3 hours. We've got a very large variety of vehicles on offer, everything from a 1909 Renault Type AZ1216 Laundelette that was supplied new to the UK and bodied by Lucas of London, which is a really fabulous car. It's come from a significant private collection, and whilst in that collection it's had the engine properly overhauled by Hennell Engineering, and it's on the button, just a magnificent character piece from the Edwardian era. All the way through to a 2015 Range Rover Vogue SDV8, one of these smart ultimate SUVs. Range Rover still so much of an icon. We've been fortunate enough to be given or asked to sell a number of cars that have either had one owner from new or been in single family ownership from new. So we have a 1968 Triumph Herald 1200 Saloon that's covered just 27,000 miles. It's a little scruffy, but with that particular history behind it, I'm sure somebody will take it on. We've got a 1975 Ford Cortina 1600L Decor Estate, which is the only Decor known to have survived. Again, that's been in single family ownership from new. It's one of those Coke bottle Cortinas, very reminiscent of its period, and I'm sure somebody will want to take that on, get it back to its former glory. We've got a 1959 Austin Healey Frog Eye Sprite that was bought new by a father and then given to his daughter. The father restored it quite extensively in the late 90s, and the daughter's done various improvements works to it since then. We've got a 2005 Ford Thunderbird, which is a rare sight in the UK, an 11th generation Thunderbird. That was imported by its long-term keeper. Sadly, he's died. It's being offered for sale by the widow, but that car's covered 29,000 miles from new and is one of the 50th anniversary editions, and it's being offered for sale at no reserve. Another Cortina estate, but a 1981, a Mark IV Ford Cortina 2-litre GL estate, and unlike the Decor, this one is in lovely condition, but again, it's a one-owner car. We've got some real rarities in the sale as well. So we've got a 1972 Bond Bug in bright orange, as you'd expect, that had been restored. It was a series of boxes, it's been put back together, and that's a nice, fun thing. We've got the 1954 Sunbeam Alpine Mark I Roadster. That's a car that was, again, restored in the 80s. It actually took part, it was one of 100 cars to take part in the opening of the Channel Tunnel, and then later it went on to a career in historic rallying. Its last event was the 1999 UAE International Rally, and it's still got loads of dust and sand from that event. It was put into storage thereafter. It's a rare car, one of only about 200 known survivors, and that'd be a fantastic project for somebody. We've got a 1993 Jaguar XJS 4-litre. Now, I know Jaguar XJSs aren't that rare, but this one is a hatchback conversion, so you will have a long day's march before seeing another one. A real curio, that. We've got a 1965 Alfa Romeo 2600 Sprint. That car is one of 10 that were earmarked by the factory to go to Australia. It's right-hand drive, as you'd expect, and it's certainly had an interesting past. The vendor who bought it in 2009 treated it to a bare metal repaint. When the body was taken back to bare metal, they found evidence of various brazed up bullet holes and signs of an invasive sort of French Connection type search, where somebody had gone in with a chisel behind the sills and opened up various sections of the body just to see if there was any hidden contraband or that sort of thing. Car's all back up and together now. It's UK registered. Just needs running in following its restoration, but that's a very rare thing. They only made 596 in right-hand drive. We've also got a 1936 Chord 810 Westchester sedan. That was a car that spent its entire life until fairly recently in the States, came over to Sweden, was very heavily restored in Sweden, came over to the UK because the vendor had been tasked by his daughter with buying a yellow eye-catching car for her wedding, and we think he certainly succeeded. It'd be harder to think of a more eye-catching car than the Chord, but beautiful piece of Art Deco design, front-wheel drive, an advanced design, so a very lovely thing. And then we have a 1923 Willis Knight Model 64 Tourer, and that's a car that was supplied new down under. It was reputedly in single-family ownership for 90 years and was first owned apparently by the Archbishop of Hobart. He used it for missionary duties, for visiting schools and churches all the way through Tasmania. It's got a big 3-litre sleeve valve engine, so plenty of performance for its age. Practical, very unusual, historic car. So there's a really good selection of things we feel, we hope, and we very much look forward to seeing you on Wednesday and hope you're able to join us for the sale and do some bidding. Thank you very much.